Cool. All right. Well, let's hop into it. This is the third town hall. My name is Grant Scholl. I'm the CEO. And then also talking today is Aiden.
Yeah.
And our agenda. So we've got the Rocket League tournament, dev update, product update. We'll go over the white paper, Project Catalyst stuff, community NFTs, which is something that we're working on PlayerMint, and then the a Q&A, and then moving into the spotlight presentations. And we're focusing on artists this week, which is awesome. So the first thing is the Rocket League tournament. It was a lot of fun. I think it was a big success. It was really the first big tournament on Cardano. We had 3 sponsors with NFT prizes from AdaQuest, Drunken Dragon Games, and Cardania. And then the first place winner was Shushani, then Glitchpog, and then Brick. And we're working on setting up the third one. But I think it went super well. And if you have anything to add, Aiden.
Gotta unmute myself. Yeah, I just wanted to say that it was a really kind of lively event. Like, we kind of had this great interaction between 2 stake pool operators, Van of 420 stake pool, and then of course M from the retro stake pool kind of acted as the commentators via a Twitch live stream. So we had about 50 people in attendance viewing this event and 20 actual competitors, and it was just really awesome. These final matches like got really intense. I believe Shushani is actually in the top 2% of players. So it's really cool to kind of see really epic mechanics and kind of really good flow and usage of kind of the I guess, Rocket League gameplay. And it was just a lot of fun, and things got really kind of exciting and energetic. So we're definitely going to host more. And if anyone wants to kind of see that content roll out, M of Retro Stake Pool is kind of putting together a bit of a clip montage that you all be able to see.
Yeah, and what's super cool too is that this kind of got to model the PlayerMint product of earning tokens through gaming, and we saw a lot of interest in that. So that was also really cool to see, and like people that weren't even really gamers wanted to kind of play in order to try and earn some NFTs. So it was a lot of fun. Then a quick product dev update. We're just heading out of the design phase and entering the backend code phase. So we'll have probably some more information on that at the next town hall. We've got some super small details to finalize on design, but we're basically done with that process, which is super exciting. So I'm hoping by the next town hall that little car will be heading towards the code base part. And then, so white paper, I'm gonna throw this into the Discord, and some of the things we're still working out, like getting this graphic high res, but kind of it breaks down everything so that people have a synchronized document to read up on what we're building and how it all works. And it's still kind of in a peer review phase, but we want PlayerMint to be something that's super open and that's very community driven. So we're kind of giving this to the community now to kind of help finalize it and make edits and raise questions and add whatever they think should be added. So yeah, it's got the PMX part, the token part, the NFT marketplace stuff. Here you got all the SDK stuff. So I'm pretty weeks as people give feedback and comments. I think we'll kind of get to the final steps of at least this first version. And then this will be an ever evolving document. So as we kind of go into the code base, the back end part of development, which I talked about in the last slide, we'll start to add things to this document so that people can get more and more information from one synchronized document. So for the Project Catalyst Fund6 stuff, I'm going to hand it over to Aiden.
Awesome. Great. Yeah. So really exciting white paper stuff. Can't wait for y'all to see that. But of course, for people that are in kind of the Cardano Project Catalyst community, they know that Fund6 is kind of right on the horizon. We're currently in what they refer to as the insight sharing portion. So for those of you that don't know, Project Catalyst is kind of this great way for projects building on top of the Cardano blockchain to submit a proposal to this kind of decentralized fund. And then based off of the interest in your proposal, how well it's written, how audible it is, how impactful it is, and how feasible it is, community members or people that hold the cryptocurrency ADA get to vote as to whether your proposal deserves funding or not. So we have had success in Fund 4. We actually received some funding. In Fund 5, we took a loss and we did not receive funding. So now we kind of have some sights set for Fund 6. And we have some unique ideas as to how we kind of want to go about actually implementing and submitting proposals to Project Catalyst this fund. The big thing here is that we decided, like investing in portfolio management, it's good to diversify. So one thing that we're going to do moving into this kind of Project Catalyst round is we want to submit smaller proposals, like smaller asks for like treasury fund wise, but to a variety of different challenges. So we have a couple of ideas. We're not going to do every single idea that's displayed here, but these are kind of what we have on the back burner. And I'd be really interested to see, what, I guess, proposals to these Fund6 challenges are people most interested in. So to start off on the developer ecosystem, this is kind of like building tooling out for developers on top of Cardano. We have the NFT royalty smart contract. So one thing, we are building out this NFT marketplace. So we're thinking it might make sense to request funds to build out some sort of royalty smart contract system and then make that completely open source and essentially accessible to anyone else that might be an artist or an NFT marketplace can easily kind of plug in this smart contract royalty system so that, we would use it as PlayerMint, but then anyone else building out a NFT marketplace would have a royalty smart contract system out of the, kind of on the get-go. And then also on the dApps and integration side, this is kind of like the main category for dApps like PlayerMint. And we are, of course, looking at kind of just development budget. So, we have developers, and I think as we all know, developers aren't the cheapest in the world because, of course, they're building out quality product and they have these kind of expertise. So we might submit a dApps and integrations proposal just to kind of increase our development budget so that once we launch, we have funds for kind of that optimization, like fixing those little bugs and tweaks that might come with launching a product. And then one really, really cool thing that I'm super excited about and that members of kind of the Catalyst community, might get excited about, but I've been speaking with Felix of the Catalyst Circle, and he is super jazzed up and excited about kind of blockchain gaming, or what I guess kind of the buzzword that's coming out right now is GameFi. So how can we essentially, we're looking at Project Catalyst Fund6, and one of these things is as a community, you can determine what are future challenges. So what are future challenges that people can submit proposals to in order to get funding. So this is a challenge that we would submit to create future challenges. And one thing that we kind of want to do is let's create one for blockchain gaming. We think that gaming can drive a lot of mass adoption into Cardano and just blockchain in general. I mean, our Rocket League tournament is kind of a great example of people are really looking for a way to earn actively cryptocurrencies. We might all be earning cryptocurrencies passively through staking, but what's an active, fun way that we can earn crypto? And I think blockchain gaming is that great, kind of activity that we can all enjoy and have fun doing. So we definitely want to submit a Fund6 challenge setting proposal for blockchain gaming. And then other than that, the kind of other two, I guess, more challenges that we're also looking at are scaling up the Cardano's community hubs. So this is all about how can you make local based events and kind of formulate, I guess, kind of that person to person. We're all doing this kind of digital stuff, but how can you host those live events where you can actually shake someone's hand, given, of course, the status of the world and where everything's are at in terms of health wise, but we would see some benefit in hey, what if we hosted these, what are referred to as LAN tournaments, or tournaments where everyone is kind of in the same plot. for video games, and how can we use events where, you know, we have everyone in the same room and maybe we're playing Magic the Gathering, or maybe we're playing, you know, Halo Infinite when it comes out, and have these tournaments, but then also have a component of blockchain education. So how can we almost teach blockchain through the usage of gaming, and that kind of being a cool local thing that we could do. And then on the Atala Prism mass adoption slide, we have the, you know, that's all about kind of creating these decentralized identifications. And a big thing that makes PlayerMint operate is that you have this account that you attach things like, you know, a wallet and like your gaming accounts and your social accounts, so that as you're kind of, you know, playing video games, we can actually grab that data and see how well you're doing comparatively to other users, and then pay you out. So we kind of have all these things that connect together from the PlayerMint account. So creating some sort of DID model that kind of makes that all kind of packaged in one, and we can kind of really, you know, use the full advantage of blockchain to create these accounts, is also an interesting kind of proposal that we could get after. And then the final challenge that we're really, really excited for, and we are 100% going to submit a proposal to this, whereas the others we're still trying to kind of figure out the kinks of it all, is the NFT business models. So PlayerMint is really unique in the sense that it offers this kind of great opportunity for creators to that are especially in the gaming ecosystem to onboard their users or their fans into PlayerMint. Because if you're this, you know, Twitch streamer that plays Fortnite, and you have a community that also plays Fortnite, you can create this great relationship where you're earning PMX from gameplay performance, and so is your community. So now your community has this shared asset that's earned via or fueled via gameplay performance. So you can almost create this micro economy between these communities that is either community member to community member, or community member to almost like the content creator of that community. So how can we kind of go into these gaming content creators and say, hey, you stream for Twitch, what if we worked with you and developed a tokenomic model for you to create like a community NFT system that got your users, you know, if they got one of these NFTs, it would mean they get, you know, VIP Twitch subscription, or maybe it got them things like, you know, access into your Discord, and cool features like that. So with that proposal, we kind of want to go off, and the big point of that proposal would be all about, let's go over to gaming content creators and help them build community NFTs on top of PlayerMint, which kind of brings me to the next slide here, and that is that we actually, as a company, want to develop our own system of community NFTs. So we're seeing a lot of amazing projects out there in the Cardano space that are kind of launching all these cool, unique NFTs. And I guess we are looking at the ecosystem and we're saying, hey, when we launch NFTs, we have this already existing platform. What if we created NFTs that acted and gave utility to the PlayerMint users that held them? So we are kind of drawing inspiration from that right now. And if anyone has any kind of thoughts or ideas as to how we can best do that, we're of course more than happy to hear you out. But the overall kind of standpoint that we're looking at is we want something that's going to provide access. So if anyone knows Gary Vaynerchuk, big social media entrepreneur, really, really positive, awesome dude, taught me a lot just through watching his Instagram videos. He launched an NFT project called VFriends, which was all about access. So maybe one of the NFTs would gain you access to a dinner with Gary V, or courtside tickets to a game, or maybe you would jump on a live Zoom call with him, you know, once a month for the next year. And then also each one acts as a ticket and gains you access to a conference he's holding called VCon in 2020, 2022, 2023, and 2024. So kind of that access side of things. How can we make it so that NFT has utility? So for example, with Axie Infinities, you have cool things where the NFT can actually do things like use it to play a video game, or you can actually use it to make money through scholarships or breeding of NFT or of the Axie Infinities. So also looking at how can we make it so that the NFT is actually usable in that sense. And then of course we want something that's collectible and iconic, and something that people are going to want to throw as their profile picture on PlayerMint or on other social media channels. So something like those CryptoPunks that kind of has that unique flair and a bit of interest and a bit of kind of that, you know, just that collectible nature that kind of shows off a little bit of personality based off of which one you buy and which unique assets that character is kind of holding and showing in their image.
That actually has a carrot coming out of his butt.
Yep. And a mushroom growing on his back. So if anyone has any thoughts about kind of what we could do from a community NFT standpoint, we definitely want to make it so that it drives massive amounts of utility if you hold it inside the PlayerMint system, and that we can kind of just create more of a fun environment for people that are holding these NFTs.
Yeah, and like one of the big things that we'll be looking for creators to use PlayerMint for is to create community tokens for their community. So some Fortnite streamer might create a community NFT collection, and then their fans can collect them, and then those NFTs can have utility within the community while it's also representing support for that community. And then what that kind of creates is almost like a subscribe button that's like an asset. So you might find a Fortnite or some game streamer when they're really small, and you want to buy a bunch of their community NFTs because you think that this streamer is going to become really popular, and you're a big fan of them. And then by being a part of their community, you're gaining the upside of the growth and the value of that community, because you can sell it later when the fan base is so much bigger. So there's a lot of really cool dynamics that can come into play when you start creating this connection between fans and creator with NFTs, and kind of like the gaming content creator space is the perfect group of creators to push that forward. So we're really excited about that, and that'll be kind of one of the first things that we're pushing for creators to create on PlayerMint. So there, we'll hand it over to Q&A. We had some problems with the live stream, so we might not have too many this time, but if anyone in the chat has any questions before we hop into the spotlight presentations, we'll open up the floor. Cool. Yeah, let's just
we got one real quick here. It says, I just want to know, when is Grant going to clean the fingerprints off his webcam?
I'll work on it.
Oh goodness, that's a good one, William. Yeah. Maybe take a little shirt or a towel to it.
Thanks for pointing that out. But here at the spotlight, I'll hand it over to Backwards Geometry to open up the spotlight, and then Annie will close. Stop sharing.
All right. So, hey everyone, I'm Michael, and I am responsible for the project Backwards Geometry. And I didn't really make a presentation per se, but I can show some things in the website, some things that I have done, and talk a little bit about how I started here and what I'm doing. So basically, when I started this project, I had never done any NFTs, and I knew about the market, but I had never purchased or really made an NFT before, mostly because it was a little cost prohibitive to do it like on Ethereum or something. So having Cardano was a way to access this, and it has been very good. And so I started painting a bunch of years ago, and not sure exactly when, but I have been doing that. I'm also a musician, so arts in general are things that I enjoy a lot doing. So I had some of my art displayed in local events and stuff like that before, but I think that the kind of exposure you get here is there's no comparison to anything else. So back in May, I think I started out with my first painting collections. Can I share the screen here?
Yeah, on the bottom there should be a button that says, and let me
oh, I host.
There you go. You should be able to.
Okay. All right. Now it's done. So this is my website. And here, this is the first collection I released here back in May, I think, or like late April. And I don't remember how many of these paintings there were in the first collection, but they all work in the abstract style. I like collages a lot. I like paint drips and stuff like that. I really enjoyed the work of artists like Robert Motherwell, Franz Klein, or like Mark Rothko also. So looking at those things really inspire me to make my own stuff. But I tend to have sort of this messy style. And this was like uh, my first thing ever that was like worldwide, and that I got a lot more exposure than ever, and was very good back then. I put up this collection and it sold out very quickly, like in a matter of a few minutes, really. But that was also the beginning of CNFTs, so people were all the hype, and the market was very, very, very quick to consume everything. So that was cool. And then I kept on going. I have done a bunch of collabs with other artists in the space. That was also very good for me to learn new things and to really like push my own boundaries and start doing things a little different than what I usually did. And I think that it made me improve a lot, really. So I have released 2 more painting collections along with the other collabs and like one-offs. And the collections, they have a structure that is a little different from the one-offs, because they usually have more than one edition per painting. So the way I see it, it works like, I don't know, you sell like in the physical world, you sell like prints of your works. You may have a bunch of prints of the same collage or the same painting you have done and you sell them. So it's kind of the same principle here. But I do it in a way where I have more editions of certain paintings and less editions of others. So that creates a little bit of rarity tiering, because that is a part of how things tend to work around the CNFT space. So this is the second collection I done. This had a lot more paintings, and as you can see, in the previous one, most of the work I had done was like black, red, and white, because I don't know, those are my favorite colors. But later on, I started experimenting with other things and really finding out other techniques and other ways of do what I do. And here's the third one, which is the latest painting collection I have out there. And different from the first two, this one was released in a moment where the market was already very much slower than at the first and second month. So everything was also different in the sales perspective. Not that it really changes a lot, because it's not a matter of making these, oh, just want to get a lot of money and sell them. I do this because I really love it, and I will keep putting them out, you know. But this one also has more paintings than the others, and it has some pieces where I just use it collages and not any paints at all. So that was also something that deviated from what I was doing before. And after I finished the third collection, I started studying some different stuff I could do here. And something that I always wanted to do was sculptures, but I never really had the proper space for that and access to the right materials and stuff. And I figured out, since we're doing this in a digital world, and there are tools that can make me have like not the same experience, but doing something um, in different dimensions from what I'm doing in paintings. So that's when I started studying 3D modeling, because it's a way I figured where I could make the sculptures I wanted to make, and they could exist in the digital world. So this past 2 or 3 months, I have been studying Blender, and got, since the basic tutorials, everyone that learns Blender probably has made a donut before, because it's the most common tutorial out there, and it's very complete, and it has basically all the skills you need to have to start off. So I made a donut, and then from there I just started exploring and trying to adapt my own artistic language to that medium. And with that, I have made 4 sculptures that I have released a couple of days ago. Was this Friday actually, and I can show you some of them. So with those, I had made the 3D models, and I put them up on PlayerMint. Like, you can move them and rotate, zoom in and out. And there's also a render of it. And with those, I feel like, at least in my mind, a lot of new doors opened, in the way like I can basically do anything, and that's kind of very exciting. There's endless possibilities of what you are able to do with 3D modeling. So this is kind of a new phase here, and it's very exciting to me to really make more of these and find out other ways to have these 3D models be a part of other things too. So seeing you guys' project and how you integrate gaming, and how you plan to make this a dynamic thing, where you can use your NFTs for stuff, and I feel like it's very exciting too, to think of ways to sort of have these tokens being not only the art that you look at and you have them as like a collectible or something, but also, I don't know, as something that can be used. I think that's pretty cool too. And yeah, this past collection of sculptures has four sculptures. I only got these 2 open here because I still need to find them on Cardano scan, so I can find them on PoolPM, because I don't have the links in hand. But all of them tend to follow the same aesthetics I try to imprint in my paintings, which is, I don't know, something like this ruins aesthetics, and a little grungy, and paint drips, and like very quick brush strokes. Um, and basically that what is my project has been about, making abstract art and bringing it into the blockchain. And that's pretty much what sums up what I have been doing here.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Michael. I mean, I really enjoyed it. I love the kind of journey from, just artist to, Cardano artist to sculptor. It's a really kind of cool journey. And I personally really enjoyed kind of the artwork that you got going on there. Does anyone kind of have questions for Michael and what he's doing with backwards geometry? Any questions about the progress or the flow or how he does it all? Experiences through artwork and NFTs and all that fun stuff. So I'll open up the floor, and if no one else has a question, I definitely do.
I really like the style, I'll say.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Gene. I'm a member of the Discord community. So I just had a comment. I think it's really awesome. I've never really been big into abstract art, but what you've done there is actually really attractive to me. It looks really cool. So I just wanted to give you my congratulations on your hard work. And of course, that 3D thing is really cool. I don't fully understand it, but it's pretty cool. So keep it up, man.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
And what is your pool ticker?
My pool ticker.
Or do you have a pool?
Oh, I don't have a pool really.
Okay. Okay.
I'm just a Cardano artist. I don't really run any stake pools.
Gotcha. Thank you.
I have a quick question for the kind of, I guess artists and whatnot, and anyone else that's kind of looking to mint an NFT on Cardano. How would you recommend someone that, you know, wants to mint an NFT goes about minting it and then kind of holding some sort of sale? Like, would you recommend, you know, minting it on top of like NFT Maker and then selling it on top of like cnft.io, or how would you go about that process?
Well, that's actually a good question because it was very strange to me at first. I had no idea how to do that. And it was one thing that was keeping me from doing it too. When I found out that NFTs could be minted in Cardano, I actually tried to go after resources where I could learn to mint myself, but that's definitely out of my skill set. So I just really reached out to someone who could help me. And I found Mermata. She has a pool called Tails, and they have been, her and Fred, her husband, they both have been working on NFTs and native tokens on Cardano basically since the Merry Hard Fork day. So they have actually a token, the Tails token from their pool, which was minted on the Hard Fork day back in
Wow.
March. So they have been doing this like since day one, and I found them and reached out to them, and basically they were the ones who helped me do all of the minting part and all of the distribution too. So my first collection, they minted all of it, and I sold it directly, like really through Discord DMs and whatnot. It was kind of a mess because, you know, you have to deal with a lot of people talking to you at the same time, and everyone's kind of impatient to get their stuff they want to buy. But afterwards, they had developed an automated vending system. And since then, that's what I have been using really. Most of the sales I do are through their system, including this last one. The website is where they are being hosted right now. It was made by them. So if you go like to sales.backwardsgeometry.com, that's where you can buy the sculptures, and that whole thing was created by the people at Tails Pool. So I would certainly recommend reaching out to them because they're very attentive, and they are really out there to help up and coming artists and people who are new to the space. So that's definitely my recommendation.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that's a common trend in the Cardano community is that if you need help, all you got to do is reach out to it, and if you kind of do enough digging, you'll find someone that is willing to lend a hand.
Exactly. It's one of the things I like the most here. So everyone seems to be willing to build something together and help each other create their own stuff and develop their own projects. So to me, it's just incredible that this exists and everyone's so nice.
Well, awesome.
Cool.
Does anyone else? Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to ask if anyone else has questions.
Well, I think that was a perfect way to segue to our next presenter, who is an artist from the traditional world who's getting into the NFT world. So I'm gonna open the floor to Annie now.
Hi, everyone. I'm really happy to be here. Michael, I love your work. And
Thank you.
I really do. I really do. I love it. I took a bunch of notes. And the 3D modeling was very interesting to me because I got started many, many years ago as a sculptor for like DC Comics and Nickelodeon. And I worked in clay and made, a rubber mold, and then created a hard copy of that character, and they would send the original prototype overseas to mass produce their product from that. And I kind of got out of the business as it was getting digital. I had gotten tired of doing it. I wanted to move on to some other things. But I tested out one of the very first 3D sculpting model software here in Cambridge, Massachusetts. But I never made this switch. I kind of veered off into a number of different directions, and including I wrote a book that was made into a movie in 2016. It's called All We Had. So I took a detour and was a writer for a really long time, and now I've kind of moved back. My two worlds have come together, and I started doing some cartooning. I was integrating language and art, and then I started animating my drawings, and that is kind of at the time that I met Grant, and he started talking to me about NFTs, and I am so super excited about the possibility of all of it. I just actually sold my first NFT. So I know it was very, very exciting, but very, the learning curve is pretty great for somebody like me who comes from the traditional art world. But I am, I'm very interested in how the whole thing works. I love the fact that it's so democratic. And like you said, Michael, everybody is so super helpful. And it's very exciting to me that it's kind of breaking the traditional art gallery model in a big way, which I feel like it needed to be broken. It was too rarefied. Like when you think about how many people do you know who go to a gallery and actually buy paintings? I don't know anybody really. So the NFT community kind of, it's a big door. Like you said, it's a new door to go through, and I'm finding it very exciting. And one of the things about being like a lifetime artist is I always want to be trying to learn different things and know and do different things. So anyway, I think I'm also gonna share my screen for just a little bit.
Perfect.
You can go to my website. It's annieweatherwax.com, and maybe I'll take you there and show you some of the well, you can see the superheroes that I created. I've got them all up there, and you can read about my writing as well. But I wanted to show you some of my current work, and what I'm thinking about it now. So, am I sharing the screen now?
There
Share.
should be, yeah, there you go.
Okay. So let's just see. This is some of my current work. So it's very cartoonish. It's like cartoons with an edge. And I'm gonna play you this one. These are all like under 1 minute long. And my plan is, these are all made, well, like any kind of film, one image after another, and I'm hoping to break them apart and sell each kind of moving image as a separate NFT. So I'll just play this one really quickly. This is just an intro, so it's only 15 seconds long, but let's see if I can get it full screen here. So that was just like a very quick intro to Sabrina. So what I'm hoping to do is to break those separate pieces down and sell them all as NFTs. I'll play you this. I'll play you this one as well. So I'm trying to create mini short stories. So it kind of marries my my interest in cartooning and also language at the same time. And then I'll just quickly show you. This is the NFT that I recently sold. It's just an animation. So that's it. She's called Badass Mary. So my work is much more cartoon, you know, more figurative than what you saw from Michael's, but that is that's sort of very quickly my story. And yeah, if you wanna see more, you can go to my website, which is annieweatherx.com. So yeah, that's it. I mean, I'm hoping that to start minting with Cardano as soon as those smart contracts are available. And I'm very grateful to Grant, because he's kind of pulled me along on this journey. Not easy to take somebody like me and pull me along in this journey. So I appreciate that. So yeah, that's about it. You know, if anybody has any questions, that I'm more than happy to answer them. So now I have to just figure out how to stop sharing the screen. Stop sharing. There we go.
Well, I mean, amazing work. I really like what you did with the sculpting in the past. And then I really like what you did kind of moving forward in kind of these, I really like, I guess, Michael said it best, like the atmosphere of the animations is very kind of, it's definitely very enveloping. It's very kind of intriguing and immersive. So
yeah,
really,
I
good job.
I think also there's a unique angle of like creating a story and selling a segmented stories as NFTs. I feel like that's a very unique concept. And I think if you can find some kind of niche like that, like you'll have a place in the market. Like I really like that idea of like stringing together a story and then segmenting them into NFTs for like people to collect. I really like that.
Yeah, it could be cool. I mean, the thing that's so exciting about all of this is the possibilities seem wide open. Yeah, I'm excited to learn more. I'm at the very beginning of this journey though. So, and I'm very interested in the community NFTs. I think that's a fascinating space to be in.
Yeah, I would highly recommend checking out vfriends.com. That's kind of the Gary Vaynerchuk kind of big social media entrepreneur. Highly recommend checking those out, just because his big focus is all about kind of how do I create a community and how do I really support that community, and he's all doing that through VFriends. So I think he kind of has a great model, and he kind of has an interesting artistic touch, as he doesn't come back from a background of art. So it's like he has these brilliant pieces that are just these kind of silly drawings of like, one of them is called "You're Gonna Die Fly," and it's just like it's like a black dot with like two little wings. Yet, because there's this community and because it's from Gary Vee, these pieces are selling for like 5 or 6 ETH at the moment, which is in the range of like $18,000 to $20,000.
Wow.
So there might not be like, what some would say a massive amount of artistic value, as in the sense that it has a lot of like, it has a lot of Gary Vee's personality in it. It has a lot of utility. And because he has this community, people want these pieces so badly. So I'd highly recommend checking out VeeFriends.
Yeah, I'm interested too in, like, the hand that, seeing the artist's hand in it. I think that's really a neat thing.
Yeah, definitely. The kind of personality of each artist.
Yeah.
So if anyone in the chat or in the Zoom call right now has any questions, please feel free to raise your hand in the Zoom call or shoot out one into the chat message. But I guess my question to you is you kind of spoke about this great thing of like the democratization of the art world through NFTs. And I guess I'm kind of curious, because in the blockchain world, we talk a lot about like finance and how does like banking differ from like cryptocurrency and blockchain stuff. So I'd just be kind of curious to kind of hear your thoughts on like kind of legacy art world of your background in kind of sculpting and shipping off like clay prototypes to be kind of made overseas versus the process now. Kind of, I guess, where's kind of that break and divide? What kind of do you like more about the current model? Just if you'd be willing to, explain a little bit more about that.
Well, I like I like that, you can, it's truly mixed media. It's like true mixed media. And I really like that about combining kind of the hand drawn with the digital world. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure I exactly understand your question, but the sculpting that I did, and I did it for about 15 years. I did hundreds of characters. And I actually still have a lot of the original prototypes. Like I once flew out to George Lucas's ranch with a sculpture of Jar Jar Binks. It was before that character was fully developed, and they paid for a seat for me on the plane and a seat for the sculpture on the plane. They were so paranoid that somebody was going to get their hands on it. But yeah, I think that I learned a lot from sculpting by hand, and I learned a lot about, process, and I think that's all been transferable into the new work. Did that at all answer your question? I don't even know.
Yeah, totally. No, sorry, it was a bit of a confusing one. I guess what I'm getting at is like that idea of now that you like your kind of concept of how many people do you know that go to art galleries and buy really expensive pieces.
Yeah.
I guess that also kind of combined with the idea of you as an artist, do you feel as though when you enter the NFT world, now that you can kind of, I guess, have that mixed media approach where you have a wide audience and you can almost do a peer-to-peer sale where you sell it directly to the consumer, as opposed to going to an art gallery, you can attach a royalty to it. So when it's sold in the secondary market, you can kind of still get benefit for your work. I guess I'd just be kind of curious on your takes on that.
Well, it's, one of the reasons I've always been an artist, like since I was a kid, and I went to Rhode Island School of Design, and I had all these, like, I became disillusioned with the art world, honestly. And that's why and it's not the whole reason, but it was why I started becoming more interested in writing, because there was a broader audience. There's a consensus, like people read books, they read books or they go to movies. And so with this whole new, frontier, the NFT frontier, I feel like it's given me my art back in a way, because, it's allowing me to get it in front of a wider audience. I'm excited. I'm excited to be an artist again.
Yeah,
So
that's amazing.
yeah. So it's good. And I'm excited to share my work again.
That's awesome.
Did
Well,
you ever
Go ahead.
did you ever like interact with galleries a lot?
You know, I kind of quickly after art school, no, I've sold a lot of my artwork, but it's always been direct out of my studio. I've never actually really engaged galleries. So yeah, I mean, I recently, I did this whole series of Gilligan's Island paintings. And I have a couple of clients who really like my work, and they bought all the paintings, and they actually designed and built a house around the paintings in Florida. And the architect, the house ended up on the cover of this Architectural Digest magazine. And so that's kind of how I've handled it. I was so disillusioned when I was in art school. I was so disillusioned with the whole thing. So yeah, anyway, it's come full circle now.
Love it.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'm really interested in the artwork, and I can't wait to see what you do in the Cardano space once those smart contracts launch.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
Do we have any questions for Annie from the crowd or?
Great.
Yeah, looks like we're good.
Wonderful.
Really appreciate you taking the time, Annie. I think that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
Of course. Yeah. So at this kind of portion of the town halls, usually it's kind of that's the town hall. We really appreciate everyone showing up. We kind of jump into